Hello and welcome to this video. This is for Math for Business and Finance and for math application students. These videos will be for the Chapter 1 word problems. They're going to be the odd number problems, and I'm going to try to keep the videos about 10 minutes, so however many of them I can get complete within that period of time. I'll just stop and move on to another video and continue on until I'm able to do all of the word problems for Chapter 1, the odd numbered problems. These are the problems that were assigned to you in your study guide. So if you worked through them, you had a problem, you can watch the video, and this will be the way I go about doing the homework problems. It's going to be my thought process and I'm going to try to give you what I'm thinking about as I'm doing the problems. Word problems are very difficult for a lot of people. In one of our other videos, it's dissecting and solving word problems. I tried to give some idea as to how I go about solving word problems, but the application, it's one thing to understand or to comprehend what I said. It's a whole other thing in order to be able to apply. So in doing these word problems, in my thought process, like I said, I'm going to try to think out loud here and work through the problems. And this way you'll be able to have a better idea as to what you should be thinking about. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean my way is the right way and the only way. There's more than one way to skin a cat, but this is what works for me to the point where I don't have any problems doing word problems. Okay, so I'm going to begin to move on here, right? Start out with the first problem. Let me get everything set up here. Okay, all right, so this is word problem 1. Let me get my trusty pens here. Okay, all right, here we go. All right, word problem 1-47. The Wall Street Journal reported that the cost for light bulbs over a 10-year period at a local Walmart parking lot in Kansas would be $248,134 if standard light bulbs were used. If LED light bulbs were used over the same period, the total cost would be $220,396. What would Walmart save by using LED bulbs? Okay, so as you know, I'm a big fan of reading the problem more than once. And of course, you want to know what the question is asking. I also try to think through and add additional information whenever I possibly can. In other words, as I see it, I'm thinking about all of the different kinds of possibilities, and I'll make notes and stuff like that. And it doesn't necessarily mean I'll use all of that information that I'm storing in the back of my head. And oftentimes that information that I'm storing in the back of my head helps to answer, the questions. So just, follow along. This one's relatively easy, but as we go through more and more, you'll understand why I just said what I said, because as the problems become more and more difficult, uh, that my way of thinking seems to be able to help me, right? So again, read the problems twice. I'm only going to read the problem once, all right, but I'll go through it again here. The Wall Street Journal reported that the cost of light bulbs over a 10-year period at a local Walmart parking lot in Kansas would be $248,134 if standard light bulbs. Now, as I'm reading this, the thought that comes to my mind is that over a 10-year period, it's $248,134. But over a 10-year period, mentally, I'm kind of like saying, all right, dividing the 10 years into 248,000, so it's about $24,800 a year. Okay, that's just extra information that I'm storing in the back of my head. Remember, I'm just creating extra information here. I may use it, I may not use it. Okay, so would be 248,134 if standard light bulbs were used. If LED light bulbs were used over the same period, the total cost would be $220,136. Okay, so I have, let's see here, I have standard, and that's 248,134. That's for 10 years. And I also have LEDs, which is 220,396 over 10 years, the same number of periods. Now, these are the facts. If you're looking at the blueprint aid that was presented in chapter 1, these are the facts. Okay, but notice that if you had watched that dissect and solve video that I made about my thought process, I went and I kind of added to it. I would say, okay, I'm just trying to think of all of the possibilities. I'm just trying to glean extra information that I may or may not use. So I said, well, if I divide the 248,000 by 10, right, then I'd have that per year, okay? And I would have $39.60 per year, dividing 10 years into that. Just extra information, okay? So, but I want to know what the question is asking. So, and remember from the blueprint aid, it's solve for what? Right? So what would Walmart save by using LED bulbs? Well, if this is the amount that they're paying for standard bulbs, and this is the amount that they're paying for LED bulbs, obviously the LED bulbs are less. And we want to know what the difference is what the difference is. That will be the amount of savings that we have. So what we're going to do is we're going to subtract the 220 from the 248. So 6 from 4, all right. Can't do that, so I have to carry the 1, so I have 8. 9 from 2, 0, that's 12. So 9 from 12 now is 3. 3 from 0, can't do that, so I have to carry the 1. So 3 from 10 is 7. 0 from 7 is 7. 2 from 4 is 2. So my total savings will be $27,738. Okay? I hope that's understandable. And I'm at 7.5 minutes now in the video, so I'm going to just quickly recap, and I'm not going to go over everything that I had said again, as I do each and every problem. So I'll pick up the problems and I'll just start working through them. But what I want you to notice is that I had talked about using the blueprint aid, right? That was in the textbook, right? In the blueprint aid, it said state the facts. It said what to solve for. Oops, here's what to solve for right here. Okay, sorry about that. What to solve for and the steps that you needed to take. Well, in this case here, it was subtracting one from the other. Now, I had also said that I look for information that's directly related to solving the problem. Well, that was the information. Let's change colors here. That's the information directly related to solving the problem. That was information directly related to solving the problem. You'll also see that there's some information that has nothing to do with the problem, solving what you're looking for, which in this case here happened to be the 10 years. That had no relevance for solving the problem. And then of course you're going to have some information that you might have to modify, which we didn't have any of that in this particular problem. But I try to pay attention to those things. And again, I also try to create additional information in the back of my mind because I may or may not need that in order to be able to solve what the question is asking for. In this case here, it was what would Walmart save by using LED bulbs, and that's that amount. Okay, so I'm going to stop here and I'll pick up with the next word problem, 1-49 in the next video, and then just continue to work right through them for the 10 minutes.